That's Lassie settled down securely and safely on her bed there. It's completely saturated the ground here. Puddles of water. An hour or so later, after setting this up, and things have started to dry more. Well, good morning. We've got Lassie out there somewhere acting the goat. She heard me talking. So it's 10:45 in the morning. Am I taking up your space there? She's eaten all of her food today, or this trip. I always put plenty in, but this time she does appear to have eaten every single last molecule of of food. And the silly thing is, you see that sort of pile of cow doo-doo there? Well, I put her food where you can see where she sort of scooted the cow muck over there to the corner of her bed. Well, basically, I put her food in that corner, you know, away from the cow muck. So, of course, what does she decide to do? This was the first night that we were here. So, of course, the first night that we were here, she straight away scoots all that cow muck over and around and into her dinner. So that's why there's a pile of cow doo-doo over there. So enough of looking at cow doo. Look at Lassie do. Lassie, what on earth are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, you being a good girl? Have you had a nice few nights out here, relaxing, chilling out in the cold and the rain? Go back. Good girl. Yeah, it's been a bit on the wet and breezy side, hasn't it? Go back. Go on, Lassie. Go on. Go back. Good girl. I don't want you too close. You stay there. Oh, Lassie. Yeah, you stay there. Yeah, we don't want you all over us. Yeah, you can stay there. So as you can see, she had a bed there. She slept over here. You can see the patch where she was sleeping in there. Clearly the grass is warmer when it's not saturated than her own bed. Oh, let's see. Yeah, not too much cupboard love. Oh dear. That's a good morning for everybody, isn't it? I will just add in here briefly while Lassie is having her head massaged. I did do a live stream last night, and it was nearly an hour and a half, and I was talking about camping and when I did the Duke of Edinburgh Award and just general things like that. And I was, even though I gave no warning, because it was just down, you know, I was camping, and I thought, well, let's do a live stream. I was kind of surprised that only 1 or 2 people showed up, because normally I get more than just 1 or 2. Even at the last minute, you usually get a few more appearing. And then one watch friend who would never really be appearing on my camping channel came on and asked, you know, what watch I was wearing. So I said, oh, I had the Apple Watch on at that moment because I'm wearing the Apple Watch occasionally. And it wasn't until I finished the live stream, when I was finishing up, I said, well, I'll see some of you, well, one or two of you might go over to the watch channel. I said, I'll pop over to watch channel just for a few minutes and have a little chat over there, just briefly. Anyway, when I stopped the live stream, I looked at the ending and I thought, there's something a bit different about the screen here. And then I suddenly realised my mistake. I'd done my whole, literally hour and a half of camping live stream over on the watch channel. So I must, it's a slight problem with having two channels. You have to be aware of where you're uploading and where you're streaming to. So that was a little bit annoying, but anyway, if you're interested in my story about school and the Duke of Edinburgh Award and walking on blisters and all that type of thing, then pop over to the watch channel and find the live stream over there, and I'll try to remember in the future to do camping live stream in the correct place. Right, okay, well, I need to do some movement, so Lassie, go on over there. So it's, like I said, it's coming up to 11 o'clock now. I'm okay here until probably about 3. I really do need to be at least putting the pack on, I think, by 3, or at the very least stuffing the Supermid in the pack by 3, because it's a good hour to get back to the car, and it would be nice to get back to the car before it's actually dark. Sunset is about 10 past, quarter past 4, and then you've got half an hour or so of twilight after that. So at this moment in time, because I'm charging up the Apple Watch, I thought I'd put the GMT Master 2 on just briefly, but mostly at the moment I'm wearing the Apple Watch because I just want to get used to it, figure out how it works properly, and to see over sort of a period of time how it compares to the Garmin Fenix 6X, and you know how useful or otherwise it is, you know, out here. To be honest, I don't think very, but someone did make the suggestion of getting it, and I wouldn't normally spend quite so much money on something like that, but I kind of in that instance couldn't really resist. So we've got that. Then we did very well with the Supermid. The only thing that you do have to be aware of, and if it's very, very windy and very, very wet, then with these hems that flap, even when you're quite low to the ground, they will still spring water in at you. So I did have to raise the bathtub up in this corner quite a bit, and I put my pack at the end down there to give some protection down there. Now what I didn't notice because I was asleep is there is a line of splashing right here, and it got annoyingly onto my jacket. So this jacket sleeve got damp, not very, very wet, but damp. And then I think there's a patch down there that was damp. So I think what had happened when I went to bed last night, I kind of put my jacket there. You can see some splashes of water there as well. So rather stupidly, what I did, thinking it would be okay, and of course theoretically it should be, I think I sort of put my jacket down, something like that. And of course I think I had protection. That splashes from something else, me moving things around. So this bit here was protected, but I think this sort of little bit here that's a fraction lower must have just been catching water bouncing up at this direction, because it literally was a line of splashing here. So my jacket caught that, but it is drying out. So you do have to be, you know, you do just have to be aware if you're using, you know, a minimalist shelter, you do just have to be aware of the limitations and not go crying to your mama, you know, that something like that has happened. You know, you just have to be aware that it can happen, and you have to be able to deal with it. It really is a situation of, you know, if you go lightweight and extra space and that type of thing, you kind of just have to take the rough with the smooth, basically, and there's no point in crying about it and, you know, and complaining, because it basically is, you know, it is what it is in a nutshell. Someone did make the suggestion that on the live stream last night, that's on the Watch channel, that maybe I ought to camp out in these awful conditions, you know, in a tent sometime, just to have a comparison for myself and to be able to explain to other people why in those conditions either a tent is better, which it probably isn't, or the shelters that I'm using is better. Maybe that's something I can look into, you know, in the future. But it was some pretty horrendous weather, so if you are you know, interested in that, check out that live stream on the Watch channel. There will be a link to the Watch channel below, and it should be easy enough to find it. There's some pictures of cows on it, and it is worth your while to watch, and you could subscribe over there and help the subscriber count as well. I didn't deliberately do it like that, it just happened that way. It's just typical of me to do that. So we're sort of gonna slowly start packing up. As I say, it's coming up to 11. We've got 3 hours really, which might seem a lot of time before going to, you know, 3 hours to pack up, but it is actually surprising that 3 hours can actually go. It reminds me of Smith and Jones communicating across the table. You know, 3 hours can and does go very quickly when you're thinking about packing up for the day. And I must admit, I'm feeling quite comfortable and lazy, and I could quite happily stay here another night. I'm probably gonna run out of food. Well, I will have run out of food. I can't stay another night. I do need to get back as well. A couple of things of note. I've been using bioethanol, and I think that it goes further than meths. And bearing in mind, this is cold weather as well. So I've been here for 3 nights, and I've been here 3 nights, and normally when I get to the fourth morning, as it were, or the third morning, whichever way you look at it, With the methylated spirits, I've normally used 1/2 or 3/4 of this pot. In this instance, obviously I've used one, I've used a big one too, and this one is almost full. I did use a drop last night. Now I think the reason why I used a drop last night, and I don't seem to remember using all of that before, was literally because it's colder and probably just needing more to warm up the colder water. But it does seem to go further than methylated spirits. I think Lassie wants to be in on it a little bit more. Good girl. No, you stay there. So I do think that bioethanol goes further as well than methylated spirits. I think it heats up in a similar way. I don't think there's too much difference in its heating power. Oh, let's see. Yeah, it's been a few rough, wet camps we've had recently, hasn't it? We've had 2 camps. We've had 2 camps in the Lake District, and they were horrendous weather. And this one's been, we've actually got some sun out now, but this camp has seen some pretty wild weather as well. The first night particularly was rough with the wind and the rain. Last night was rough, mainly from the wind, really. Oh, let's see, good girl. You're gonna have to move back. Okay, go back, Lassie, because I need to put the kettle on. I need to put the kettle on. I can't stay here talking to you. They'll all get bored. Apart from Johnny, he's only here for you anyway. They'll all get bored. They'll all get bored. You giving me giving you, or you giving me cupboard love. That's probably why we don't get any new subscribers, because I'm kissing the dog all the time, stroking the dog all the time. The thing, when's he actually going to do something useful on this channel rather than tickling his dog all the time? Let's see. Oh dear. Oh dear, there we go. Alright, will you mind the air bed? Because that's kind of... No. You kind of mind the air bed. Oh dear. Oh, let's see. Oh, you're looking at me, that's a bit too much. I'm scared even more subscribers away. Oh. Well, actually, this is probably the first time that she's actually been dry enough to to get close. Because she spent nearly the entire time. Come on, Lassie, you're going to have to get up. You can't stay there, Lassie. You're sitting on all my stuff. She spent the entire trip, I swear she spent the entire trip soaked. Go on, Lassie, move. Oh. Oh, let's see. You're a soppy devil, aren't you? I was going to talk to them about something, but I don't know what I was going to talk about now. I've forgotten. I don't think it's very important to you. I don't think anything I say is very important. Oh, let's see. I just want to get... Oh, ow. Oh, Lassie, but your paws are a bit on the wet side, Lassie. Where'd your paws with the cooker and everything? Everything's gonna go flying in a minute. Oh dear, Lassie. All right, that's enough of that. We're going to have to turn the camera off and then we're going to have to move you. And that's pretty much everything. I will keep the camera bag strapped to myself. There's obviously Lassie. I'm going to put her pack on. And that's the cows and the horses over there that we saw. Actually, that's the horses we saw. Actually, we saw horses coming in, and then of course we had those cows. Those cows were literally standing here. When I actually took a bit of video of them, they were a bit further away, but some of the cows were literally here. They came very, very close. Okay, I'm going to put Lassie's pack on, get this rucksack on, and then I'm going to get going. So I think in reality, that's going to be me for this trip. I'm literally down to 10% on the battery in here, and the spare battery I've packed, and just a few minutes left on the memory card. So I hope you've enjoyed this trip. It's been a relaxing trip for me. I got some sleep. I wish you a Merry Christmas, just in case I don't get out again. And I will see you in the next video, whenever that is. As always, subscribe, like, all that nonsense, and I'll see you again soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.